Turns out today is International Men's Day, but Twitter isn't pushing anything to celebrate the accomplishments of men. Did you know about this? Why, yes I did, my friend. Yesterday, November 19th, was International Men's Day. And as far as I saw, it wasn't trending, nor was there an official moments page on Twitter. Today, the 20th, is the Trans Day of Remembrance, though, and that's all over Twitter. Even though this is honestly the first I've ever heard of that holiday. I guess it was just an innocent mistake on Twitter's part to not formally recognize International Men's Day. But hey, Twitter users themselves remembered, and a lot of them did, making it pretty weird that it didn't actually trend. But, nonetheless, there was a bunch of real solid sentiments about it. Pretty much exactly what a good person would say on both International Men's Day and International Women's Day towards women. And then you get to the usual that we've all come to expect from Twitter. Garbage takes by garbage people. Happy International Men's Day, especially to trans men, disabled men, men of color, queer men, mentally ill men, feminine men, elderly men, poor men, male survivors, and other vulnerable men. I guess this holiday just doesn't extend to any man that doesn't meet those intersectional standards, eh? Oh look! An IRL forum where only men are invited to discuss men's issues. You know, the same thing that women do for pretty much every feminist space out there. I wonder what the top replies will be to this. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. Why do women-only spaces get to be women-only, but men-only spaces have to be gender-mixed? Cut the umbilical cord already, Karen. And of course, there's the usual verificants who have decided to try and derail the conversation, talking solely about male feminists and how they are the only good type of man. You know, that higher than average possibility that they might end up being rapists or abusers must really endear them to the feminist cause. And really, this is the equivalent of driving by the burning house and thinking, how can this benefit me? Feminists look at a day like International Men's Day and wonder how this can be turned to dismantling the oppressive patriarchy, because everything has to be focused through their narrow lens of interpretation. But in the end, Twitter retards are gonna tweet, let's go upstream to the media, who I am sure have been outputting a bunch of shitty articles blasting the day for no reason other than they can. This time I decided to challenge myself. I haven't gone looking to see if any articles exist before I started writing the script for this video. I'm just betting that they're out there. Let's see what I can find. Starting off strong from Pink News, on International Men's Day, here's 10 quotes from influential queer men on mental health and self-acceptance. Because on International Men's Day, being a man isn't enough. You've also got to be queer or you just don't qualify. On the Daily Mail, should we ban International Men's Day? Good Morning Britain viewers clash over the celebration, with one insisting the event means nothing. How in the hell would you ban International Men's Day? I mean, there's no official celebration. People don't get time off from work or whatever. Are you expecting governments around the world to pass legislation preventing people from talking about it on the internet or something? While Tamer, 51, from New Cross, South London, felt that both women and men should be celebrated, Andrew, from London, thought the day was divisive. Man, the Brits really are cucks, aren't they? There's no reason for both men and women to be celebrated on International Men's Day, if they're also both not celebrated on International Women's Day. And International Men's Day is just as divisive as International Women's Day is. It's like you don't know what equality is, despite jabbering on about it constantly. Oh god, the Mary Sue. Things we saw today. Yes, International Men's Day is a thing. Surprise! The not female gender exists actually. The idea of a men's day is complicated, since, much like the recent focus on straight pride parades, a lot of the demand for one comes as a response to Women's Day, without recognizing that International Women's Day was born out of women's marginalization at the hands of cis men. Actually, you've got it all wrong. The demand for International Men's Day, as well as straight pride parades, or frankly any other public display or celebration of normativity, is that people are now wise to your game. In place of cultivating a personality, honing a skill, developing an understanding of something intricate. You know, doing the long, hard work of becoming a well-rounded human being. Instead, progressives take a shortcut by emphasizing what is demographically different about them, rather than anything with actual substance, and then parlay that difference into political power through advocacy. And if that's the new game, in place of something like hard work or knowledge, why shouldn't men play it? Why shouldn't straight people, or white people, or any other group of people that the SJWs despise? Oh hey, it's Yahoo style. I didn't even know that Yahoo still existed, to be honest. Do we need International Men's Day? Debate breaks out. Well, to be honest, we probably don't need it, the same way we don't really need International Women's Day. Man, this pesky equality thing really gets in the way of the feminist march towards utopia, doesn't it? After all, International Men's Day focuses on 6 pillars, highlighting discrimination against men, supporting male health issues, improving gender relations, promoting gender equality, celebrating male contributions to society, and promoting male role models. How many of those pillars could the radical feminist actually object to? Well, they don't believe that discrimination against men exists. It's all just punching up. They don't believe gender relations can be improved because it's all simply a power struggle between opposing tribes, and their tribe needs to win and men need to lose because men are oppressive and they're not. They believe gender equality refers to balancing everything in women's favor. And when you tell them that's not actually equality, they shift the goalposts to equity instead. They believe that male contributions to society were stolen from women or people of color, since we was Kangs and shit. And they believe male role models are patriarchs. That really only leaves male health issues, which I can only presume that they're either neutral on, or considered to be female health issues as well because they're shared through trans women. People are rallying against toxic masculinity on International Men's Day. No, people are rallying for men on International Men's Day. Only the rad lefts are rallying against toxic masculinity. It's men that get to define what the positive and negative aspects of their gender roles are. And I do not agree that all of the things feminism shunts under the toxic masculinity label are either toxic or unique to the masculine. Are people going to rally against toxic femininity on International Women's Day, or is that going to be considered oppressive to bring up as well? Okay, I'm going to stop searching for these articles at this point because I've discovered something about this topic. Should we be celebrating International Men's Day? Well, I don't know. Let me actually consider the question instead of just snarking about it this time. Here's the Google searches for the phrase International Men's Day from 2004 to today. Google's graph might be ass, but you can pretty easily replicate this yourself by going to trends.google.com. Almost all the time that International Men's Day is searched is not actually in November, but in March, which is when International Women's Day is. That's a pretty powerful argument that International Men's Day only exists as a reaction, since people only search for it during its opposite and not during the holiday itself. This could also be a consequence of the holiday itself being routinely suppressed by traditional media, social media, and literally everyone else whenever it comes up. Kinda like how it wasn't trending yesterday. But in the end, both arguments lead to the same conclusion. People don't care about International Men's Day. The SJWs hear this and think, of course, every day is International Men's Day, obviously. Every public place is a straight pride parade. Every location is a safe space for white people. All of these things are needed only for minorities because they live in a world that is actively hostile to them, while being structured for the ease of the majority. Of course! And anyone with a brain can figure out the problem with this logic. The world is actually hostile towards everyone. Regular people walking around on the street is not a straight pride parade. It's just people getting on with their lives in an overly non-sexual way. And there are absolutely locations on this planet, whether they're nations or neighborhoods, that are actively hostile against white people. But to the ideologue, it's all or nothing. It's 0 or 100. It's on or off. My tribe or yours. So to them, if it's not a rainbow-colored float full of naked, jiggling men, it's overpowering straightriarchy, I guess. But there's a more obvious answer as to why people don't care about International Men's Day. And no, I don't think it's that men are oppressed or treated like trash by everyone everywhere, MRAs. Though that certainly does happen. I think it's because men are too busy getting on with their lives to actually care one way or another about the holiday. There's too much shit to do. School to study for, work to attend, businesses to build, athletics to train for, money to earn, partners to romance, friendships to cultivate, art to create, books to read, books to write, gardens to grow. Whatever it is, men are not only busy, but men often take pride in how busy they are. It might be a stereotype that men do and women exist, but there's always at least a nugget of truth in a stereotype. It's why men define themselves, proudly or otherwise, by what they do. Sometimes more positively by what they've built, sometimes more negatively by how much they earn, sometimes self-destructively by how useless they are, but always as a subset of what they're doing. And speaking as a relatively normal guy, we're generally happy with this arrangement. I'm happy to work hard and reap the fruits of it if I get to choose the work. I don't need an International Men's Day because I have more than enough happening in my life that I don't need to take a day off to celebrate my penis just to feel good about it. So if there are actually that many women who really need a celebration once a year, where they get praised solely for existing and having a vagina, and they covet that celebration so much that they'd scream bloody murder at its criticism, or view the implementation of its gendered opposite as a threat, those women probably need to seriously reconsider the trajectory of their life.